Hello and welcome to PPL Training Insights, an interview series designed to give you, our clients and followers, a sneak peek behind the classroom door and an insight into the people who make PPL one of the UK's leading safe systems of work and technical compliance training course providers. In this interview, we welcome Gavin Spence to the hot seat. Gavin is the new HVLV Electrical Systems Training Manager at PPL Training. We explore Gavin's experience as an on-the-tools electrician turned electrical supervisor, as well as his time as an authorised person within healthcare, manufacturing and critical infrastructure, including his time as a Senior Authorised Person with the Northern Lighthouse Board. We round off the interview with a discussion around Gavin's promotion, how he has found life at PPL Training so far, and how he plans on putting his own stamp on things in the future. So, with all that said, let's chat to Gavin Spence. Fab. So, hello, Gavin. We've just had a brief discussion with Graham Taylor, who's the HVLV training manager, or was by the time this comes out. You are taking over from Graham, taking over that mantle. So, if you just want to give us and our audience a bit of an introduction to you and what it's been like working at PPL Training so far.
I've been with PPL Training now for about 2.5 years, based out of Livingston office and travelling to different places as and when required, doing predominantly authorised person courses, competent person courses at different sites. Now, it's been a big introduction because it's the first time I've done training. I've been on the tools, been in supervisory, been in management roles up until this, and this has been a complete different kettle of fish. But it's been interesting and it's been enjoyable, getting up and talking and going through the different points of the course and getting it across to the delegates. Because that's what we're trying to do, is help them along this journey of knowledge, of gaining experience and understanding of what safe systems of work requires.
I didn't realise that this was your first venture into training, so you've obviously taken to that like a duck to water, which is fantastic. How has it been working for Graham? You've been very good at managing yourself in your own time, but what's it been like delivering those courses that Graham's had such a hand in designing and developing?
It's been good. The courses are straightforward. They're well constructed with the PowerPoint backbone, and then the handout documentation and the worked examples. It all goes towards get the point across to the delegates. On the 4-day courses and 5-day courses, at the end of the course, they'll have a good understanding of what's required, of how to approach the job safely, and to make sure that the 5 golden rules are applied, and they do it in a safe manner, that they don't put themselves at risk or others.
You've almost asked my question for me there with the 5 golden rules. We spoke to Graham a little bit about that and he kind of gave us a brief overview, but I don't know if you want to go a little bit deeper into what the 5 golden rules are, maybe particularly on the LV side.
Well, the 5 golden rules is about dead working. This day and age, there's no need to be working live. If we're working live, something's seriously wrong. And if we're following the rule sets that are in place, the authorising engineer has got to get permission to work live. And what I can say is if authorising engineer gives permission to work live, go buy a lottery ticket. Because the chances of winning the lottery are far better than an authorising engineer letting you work live. These days, it should always be dead working. And if you're going to be working dead, the 5 golden rules, you've got to plan the job. Understand what's required, inform the relevant people that's going to be affected by the power outage, then do your isolations. Isolate. Fit a safety lock, secure it, use appropriate signage, and once it's isolated, you've got to prove it dead. You must ensure that it is dead by proving it dead. And there's some cases out there, especially in low voltage, you can't prove dead, but you can't gain access to the equipment without the use of a tool or a key. So we've got to issue a permit to work to let the person start work. The first thing they'll do then is they'll open it up and they'll confirm it dead. And we call it PIPIC. Plan, isolate, prove if we can, if not, issue the safety paperwork and then confirm dead. That's the 5 golden rules. Work by that. For every job you do, you'll keep yourself safe.
A nice, easy to remember acronym there as well, which makes it nice and easy for our delegates on the courses to take away with them, which is fantastic. And that's obviously, as you touched on, that's what they're here for, to gain that knowledge and take that away with them. In order to help them work safely on their systems back at their place of work or the sites that they're working at, which is great. Hello, sorry for the interruption. I just want to let you all know that we have built a technical forum for people just like you. Those people who are carrying out high-risk activities in the workplace. which in this case might be high voltage switching or high voltage maintenance. So if you have any questions for our tutors or one of our authorised engineers from PPL Engineering Services, or you just want to share common ground with others in your field, head over to forum.pplpeople.com. That's forum.pplpeople.com to sign up. It's completely free, and we won't ever share your data with anybody else. We're not sending you emails, it's all just so that you can chat to knowledgeable folk and stay safe. That's forum.pplpeople.com to sign up. Anyway, back to the interview. You've worked predominantly on the tools in the past, and then you've had a bit of a jump from there to supervisor and then senior authorised person roles, and now you find yourself in the training sphere. I don't know if you just want to give us a bit more information on what you were doing on the tools and how that jump up through the ranks has helped you with your new venture as the training manager.
Well, I started off EITB, Industry Training Board, as an electrician, apprentice electrician, with the health service up in Scotland, at Ayrshire Health Board. Passed my time there, got my indentures, got my papers, spent some time at the hospital after coming out of my apprenticeship, and then decided to spread my wings, and I went down south to London to work at Ford. So I was working in a production environment, and I worked as a maintenance engineer on the line that produced the Fiesta-based van, the Courier. I did that for some time, and then came back up to Scotland. Got a job back at the health board, wasn't too keen on the rolling contracts, so a job came up to work overseas. I went overseas to work for Prestwick Airport, at Riga Airport, as a maintenance electrician, doing some work for them to set up a vehicle workshop. And when that finished, I came back to the UK and a couple of jobs in the UK before going abroad again. I started work for Turner FM Facilities Management out in Bosnia, looking after the British Army camps as a maintenance engineer electrician, looking after the Banja Luka camp and Sipaville camp, and then came back after that, got a job at RHI Ceramic as a plant engineer doing project work for them, and then a job came up for the Royal Bank of Scotland. Went to work for them, and I was there for about 16 years or so as a maintenance electrician, looking after data centres, then in the bureau team where we monitored the remote comms rooms for them and organised contractor response to any out of tolerance issues. Then Royal Bank of Scotland imploded. They went through the crash and they sold a lot of the buildings off, and we were no longer required. So redundancy came my way. I was quite old when it happened. Got a job back in healthcare again, but this time for a contractor, working at a sick kids hospital in Edinburgh as a maintenance supervisor electrical. Did that for a couple of years, and then a job came up for the Northern Lighthouse Board, and I went and worked for them, looking after lighthouses for the Northern Lighthouse Board, and that covered the whole of Scotland and Isle of Man, looking after all the lighthouses. That was a brilliant job, some amazing places we got to see, got to visit some places that just a normal person wouldn't get access to. Did some maintenance out in the Bell Rock Lighthouse, worked from the south west of Scotland right up to northeast of Scotland and Isle of Man doing lighthouse maintenance. And then I found out I really didn't like helicopters very much. So decided to have a change and moved to something else after that, and started work at Mitsubishi in Livingston, and I got a phone call about a training job, and here I am working for PPL Training.
That was a brilliant, real whistle-stop tour of your CV there, and it sounds like you've had quite a lot of experience that is transferable to the delegates that are coming into our classrooms, as far as, you know, working for the health boards. You've worked with the MOD, but that was one of the things that helps you to understand the delegates and the roles that they're holding when they come to your classrooms.
When you're working as a maintenance engineer or working in a supervisor role within maintenance, you're always wary of shortcuts and different things that come about, trying to get production back up running as quickly as possible, and people take shortcuts. And, you know, I'll put my hand up. In the past, I was guilty of doing that from time to time, and you start to realise as you get older that things do go wrong, things get out of control, something happens that you weren't expecting, and because you don't have a safeguarding in place, someone can get seriously hurt, or worse, someone could get killed. And yeah, doing something the wrong way or doing something without following safety rules, you might get away with it. But Mike Tyson used to say, everyone's got a plan until get a smack in the nose. And it's true. You get by with it till it goes wrong. And then when it goes wrong, it can go wrong in a particular big way, especially in some of the energy systems we're working with. On the HV and LV, there can be tremendous amounts of energy let loose in a fault situation. So we have to manage that. We have to control that. We have to make sure that people's working in a safe manner, to make sure that they don't put themselves or others at risk.
Again, it always comes back to those safe systems of work that our delegates and our clients really need to be and are successfully putting in place off the back of the training that they receive from us, which is it's fantastic to hear. And when you put it into perspective, like you have just done there about things going wrong and people not making it home, that's kind of really, for me, working here really makes you understand how important elements of the training that we deliver are. So that's great. We know that you are going to be jumping into the training manager shoes. Probably when this goes out, probably will currently be the training manager for the HV/LV side of things. How has life at PPL been so far for you? And what are your plans for the future?
I've had other training providers provide training over the years, and seeing what PPL do and how they do it seems to be a bit different. And it's more approachable. The guys, it's come obvious now working for PPL that the PPL employ people that's done the job, not career tutors. And that makes a big difference because you've got guys teaching the delegates that's actually done the job in the past and they know what they're talking about, know how it can relate to the pressures of working life. And I've learned a lot from the guys I've worked with. I've learned how they apply their knowledge to the delegates and how they take the delegates on the journey from the very first induction through to the final assessment. And again, for the information across in such a good manner that it works in a structured method. You've got the PowerPoint presentations, we've got the handouts, we've got the classroom docs, and it all works together. Sometimes when you sit in these courses, you don't appear or realise just how integrated the process is and what sort of thought has went behind it to get that information across to the person. And it works really well.
I know that there are big plans in place for Livingston in the future. What do you hope that PPL training can bring up to Scotland that's not currently already there?
Well, we're working from an office in Livingston just beside Deer Park. And it's got around about 4 classrooms and a workshop area in it and a kind of general reception area. It's done well and it's served us well to get a foothold, to gauge the market and see what need there is in Scotland. And some of the needs we've identified is we need to do HV training. The LV training can be done on PowerPoint in a classroom environment, but HV can't. You've got to have HV kit there. You've got to get the guys switching and understanding what's involved to get the training across in a good way. So that's one of the things we've identified, more classrooms, more workshops, and more areas to undertake training in. We'll maybe be able to give ourselves an HV ring to do classroom work with, which is going to be a big positive for us in Scotland.
Really fantastic. Well, it's really good to hear your plans for that. And just very briefly, thank you very much for joining me and having a quick chat with me regarding Livingston and your career and everything like that so far. And best of luck in the HVLV training manager role. We know Graham's got big shoes to fill, but I'm sure you'll do that and then some. So, congratulations and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Okay then, that concludes our chat with Gavin Spence. Gavin, thank you very, very much for taking the time to chat to me, especially as you were just kicking things off in your new role as the HVLV Electrical Systems Training Manager at PPL. And so congratulations on that promotion as well. Well, that is the end of the second instalment of PPL Training Insights. But if you would like any more information on any of the training courses that Gavin has mentioned in this episode or Graham in the previous one, please do get in touch with us. You can do that by visiting our website. It's ppltraining.co.uk, or you can drop us an email on info@ppltraining.co.uk. So join us in a few weeks' time for an interview with Legionella Water Hygiene Training Manager Tony Green. Keep an eye out for PPL Training Insights on LinkedIn and on YouTube, and thank you very much for listening.